All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on and being a guest today, bud.
No problem.
Sweet. So, I wanted to ask you, like, I saw you 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 sang and you also act while you were in school yet. So, by being in school and doing singing, acting, and all that, is that what led you to wanting to make music and do like rap and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I started out like really young, right? Like in middle school, just
Yeah,
wanting to make a name for myself. And like that was what caused a lot of like hard times for me in school. Cause like, like I got bullied really badly for it, right? So I actually had to push through like a ton of just like, ridicule to, you know, take it seriously, So it wasn't until like college when I like, went to really like kind of make this a career,
oh
So
wow.
that was kind of like the path I took was just like constant, like, people telling me I couldn't do it, I shouldn't do it, you know what I mean? And then me just pushing past that.
Wow. And like who were who who were some stars that you looked up to want to sing and do rap?
Yeah. So as far as like hip hop, like, there's like a lot like Eminem, like
Yeah.
Rakim, DMX, Tupac, Nas, Razcast, Chino XL, like just as far as like all the greats, like I'm influenced by anyone that has like really good like writing, like lyricism, right? Like
Yeah,
those guys.
exactly.
Um, Singing wise, like I liked a lot of like people like Michael Jackson, like Trey Songz, um, Stevie Wonder, like even some of the boy bands, like I like 98 Degrees, NSYNC. Like I liked good voices, like good melodic, like just because I have an ear for that. Like I know what sounds good, like chord progression wise. And of course, like I'm big on like just movies and stuff, right? So like people like Will Smith, like Bruce Lee, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, just like great icons of our time.
Nice, nice. And like how do you when you're writing songs, writing lyrics to your songs, like how do you get a mind frame to write music?
Um, I think like with most artists we have like a flow state, right? Like the idea where like when you're locked in, it's like a zone. Because I
Hmm.
know for me, like when I'm writing, a lot of times like I don't like I'll read back what I wrote and I'm like I don't know how the fuck I did that, and it's like a good feeling because you're like, oh, okay, something took over and it just wrote itself. So I do think that like once you train your mind enough to get into a creative space without any kind of like distraction, it's kind of like like that flow state, and you just kind of like it just builds by itself. So I honestly think it's just years of practice and honing your craft.
Sweet, nice. And like I saw, like I mean, not now because of how everything is like shut down and everything, but you were on some festivals too, music festivals, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So like how is it like playing on a big festival, because you got tons and tons of fans that are there?
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, those are probably like the best times of my life in terms of like my music career because it's one thing to like read comments on the internet or like people are saying good things about you or bad, but to see a crowd, like kind of like just kind of fawn over you, it's something that you cannot replicate. As much as we try, like with this COVID state of just having like virtual gigs, whatever,
Hmm.
having like real performances with like thousands of people or even hundreds of people where they're just like vibing with what you're doing. It's just a feeling you can't replicate.
Yeah, definitely. And like that's the thing, like you were saying, the big thing about being on stage and doing something over here, like streaming compared to being on stage. It's like, you know being on stage, you get that rush, you get that vibe from the crowd. And if you're streaming, like, you can't really see no one looking at you, so you don't know if they're liking it or not liking it. Like, you can't get like the vibe, right?
Yeah, it's weird. It's yeah. I don't want to keep talking about it just because as you can tell I'm not really a big fan of that like streaming performances. But yeah, it's I'm just really hoping that we'll go back to actual live performances once things are in the clear, you know, because like you said, you cannot replicate that. Like
Yeah,
it's that
exactly.
rush, right? Like being able to like point at someone and then they'll like kind of have that kind of connection with you at that moment, or just like, you know, like as you're performing, like shaking people's hands and whatever, high fiving. It's you know, you can't do that over the internet. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you could put your hand against the
Yeah.
screen, but it's not the same feeling.
Yeah, they can do a clap emoji, but you have to like, you know, you have to imagine they're clapping, you know?
Right, right, exactly. And one of your songs I saw got played, watch your mouth. Like, one of your songs got played on a big hit television show, Woo Woo Assassins. And like, do you remember what scene during the show your song got played at?
Yeah. Um, just because I've said this to like so many people, I do remember it. It was episode 9 uh
Okay.
of the first season. Well, I mean there was only one season, but yeah, episode
Okay.
9. And yeah, it was like a really pivotal scene. I think I got like a lot of airtime for it, so I was really happy about that.
Nice. Nice, man. Nice. And I see, like, you've had some like new songs too. Bright lights, ride or die, and and kick it. So, like, how did you write those songs? Like, how did you come up with the thoughts for the songs?
Um, I think every song kind of, you know, like it really differs, right? So, you know, because I do both rapping and singing, when I'm
Yeah.
usually like writing like a rap song, like say like Bright Lights, which was, you know, with my friend Wise, it was you know, it was just kind of like me putting something like that energy out there where it's like, all right, I've been pretty much and figuratively working in the like, you know, just on the grind for so long, just like, you know, just doing it like in the mud, just head down, like trying to make something of myself that it's like all the hard work that I've done, like it's kind of coming to fruition. Like I'm
Mhm.
basically that's what the song's about, is like this is what I've been leading up to, like you know, the summation of all my hard work, right? It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
putting that energy out there. Something like Ride or Die was actually like me and my best friend Taj. We wrote that together, like just because, you know, we like when I'm in a singing mode, like I want to write songs for like, you know, like just for women. So I wanted it to be like really like melodic, really catchy. So it's like when it's rapping, it's a little bit more personal to myself and like, you know, or I'm talking about an issue, right? Like a social issue, whatever. When it's
Yeah.
like singing, I'm usually trying to like get me people just play it because it sounds nice. So it's like two different like flow states I get into for like those type of songs, you know?
Oh, wow, nice. Okay. And like, is there any like person or band or you would love to be on the same bill with, like, when live shows actually start happening again?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like obviously I'm like open to whoever, you know, like new guys, old school, whoever it is, just because like I mean I'm inspired by so many different people, like you
Hmm.
know, like and it's like just to be able to have the same like, you know, performance time with them, that'd be great, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I also see you act too. You've been in like a couple films, a couple television shows. So, is doing film and television, is that something you want to do going forward, like do film plus music?
Yeah, I mean to be honest with you, like I can see myself moving in that direction more and more as I get older, you know,
Oh,
like
nice.
that like with TV and movies and you know just or acting in general, like that's something that like I can see myself doing like just more and more long term, just because of that natural transition, right? It's like, you know, comedian, rapper, singer, they usually like for if they have a long lasting career, you kind of see them moving towards that lane, and I see
That's
myself in
true.
that as well. So that's something that I'm pushing towards. You know, once COVID is over, like I had to
Yeah.
turn down a couple gigs as far as like on-set stuff due to, you know, the pandemic. But once everything is done, like that's definitely a direction I'm focusing on for sure.
Oh, wow, nice. And um, do you like, my site deals a lot with like horror films, so I wanted to ask if you like horror films, and if you do, like, what are some of your best horror films you like to watch?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely am a big fan of horror films. There was actually a movie that I was supposed to be in that was like a thriller.
Oh, really?
It was, it was postponed, obviously. But as far as like my favorites, like the Saw series is probably my favorite, like the Saw
Sweet.
franchise, because it's more psychological, and it's like, every like film like from that franchise kind of deals with something different, but it's tied together, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I like that kind of those kind of concepts. Obviously, I'm a big fan of like Jason and Freddy Krueger, just classics.
Nice. Nice.
Um, trying to think, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like things like that. Just like, I don't know, like I'm just a big fan of just that genre in general.
It's cool, man. Nice. Nice. And like now I do like a speed round where I ask like a bunch of questions for, and I'm sure you know how that works. What video game do you like playing the best?
Tekken, Sleeping Dogs, Mortal Kombat.
Sweet, sweet. That's great, great choices, man. Um, what I read online that you like anime. What's your best one?
Uh, Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, um, Gungrave, and currently I'm watching Psychopaths, which is great.
Sweet, sweet. And I don't know if you drink or not, but what's your drink of choice? You a beer, wine, or mixed drink guy?
I'm not really a drinker guy, man.
Okay.
So I don't know how to answer that one.
Okay, that's fine. Who's currently on your iPod or playlist?
Um, Kind of varies, man, because if I like I in my head a lot of times I'm always trying to go back for like nostalgia. So I'm always listening to like 2000s or 90s music. So that's usually what's
Nice.
on my playlist. Like if a new artist comes out and like my friends are like, you have to check it out, I'll listen for like a day. But then after that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll go back to what makes me happy, which is that period of music from the 90s to mid 2000s. Like that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I like to make myself feel like, good about the day.
there you go. There you go. What is there any television show you're currently binge watching?
Yeah, so I'm trying to finish Criminal Minds.
Oh,
That
nice.
one. Um, so like Psychopaths, like that's an anime that I'm watching right now. Um, and um, I'm gonna probably get into like My Hero Academia, like as far as like the next like this current season. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think that that's about it because I'm just trying to finish up these shows first.
Wow, nice. And is there any place you like to go at to see, visit? I mean, I saw you lived in a lot of different places.
Right.
Is there like any place you like visiting the most?
Man, honestly, like just being able to get out of my house would be like a good place to visit. To be honest with you, like it just varies. Like I think it's not so much about the place, but more so the memories you make with like friends and family. So like I have fond memories. Just obviously here in Atlanta, I have a lot. Like I love places like LA, like San Jose, like the Bay Area,
Hmm.
New York. Um, yeah, man, like just I definitely want to travel the world, so I can't really pinpoint a place. It's just
Yeah,
more so about
exactly.
the memories you make.
Nice. And do you have any hidden talents that fans might not know about?
I don't think so. Just because like the stuff that I'm good at, I'm usually trying to make money out of. Like people, like the shit that like I focus on is like rapping, singing, acting, like writing. Like, as far as like scripts and like
Yeah,
lyrics. So that's what I hone in on. Like I'm a decent Tekken player, but I don't think I can like do a career out of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And what do you like doing for fun?
Definitely like Netflix for sure. Just like to zone out. I put my phone away and just like just give myself time. Video games. And also like as far as like just I wouldn't say this is fun, but it's stuff that I'm kind of addicted to. It's just like shadow boxing. So like
Oh, nice.
like because I used to box when I was a kid. So like that's stuff that kind of is like a stress reliever. I don't want to call it fun, but it's like it's something that like when I'm like stressed out, that's I want to go into like my like garage when it's like super hot and just like just train.
Nice, man, nice. And what sport do you like the most?
When I was a kid, it was basketball, but I have not played basketball in a long time, so I don't even want to claim it until I get back into it. So I'll probably say like boxing, like MMA, like that. That's like my favorite sport. I don't
Nice.
know if MMA counts as a sport, but boxing
Oh
is.
yeah. Nice, man. And okay, I the time is coming up. I don't want to keep you on here longer. So just want to ask you, is there anything coming out like film wise, television, songs? Like, is there anything coming out you want to like plug?
Yeah, I can't really disclose like the project name, but I do have a full length album dropping with another artist for next month. So literally like within a couple weeks, you should be able to like hear about something. But yeah, that's just something that like we've kind of like been working super hard on since like the beginning of the year, and we
No,
cranked it out in 3 months. So that's a big I guess like drop, So that's gonna be the one to look out for.
nice. And like the last song you had out was a bright lights, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, bright lights, and then the one before that was the chip.
Okay. Okay. And where can fans find you at and stream your music?
Yeah, so all my social media is at Alan Z Music. And as far as like my actual streaming, like where you can stream my music, everything is Alan Z. So ALAN, last initial Z.
Sweet. All right, buddy. I know you have quite a full night ahead of you, so I want to thank you again for taking time out to come on the show and talk to me.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for the conversation.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
No problem. Peace.
Peace.